Alright. Hello, everybody. Welcome. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're doing well. I'm doing pretty well. I am feeling pretty good. I'm in a great mood. I'm excited. I hope that you're excited. For today, we are returning to Dark Souls 3 for a fun stream. Lots of updates, lots of good news, lots of great stuff in regards to myself, my business, and this playthrough today, so we'll be talking about this here. FYI, today's stream is going to be about 3.5 hours of gameplay, give or take, with one break in there that's usually around 10 minutes long or so, okay? Very excited for this, because if you have not heard yet, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how many of you have been following me on social media, at They Call Me DSP on Twitter, but I've been talking about this for a bit. The game is patched. And if you don't know what that means, I've been playing the version 1.0 of Dark Souls 3. This was the version that apparently the difficulty was made easier. And what I mean by that is, not that the AI is any different or anything like that, but apparently damage was nerfed. So you take less damage, and apparently you were able to deal more damage to certain bosses and such. And the reason that they did that is because this was supposed to be the pre-release version of the game that was given to, say, game journalists at press events and such, so that they could play through it and get far in the game, so that they could basically kind of get a taste for the game. And the fact that, I've been playing that version of the game, does it suck? I mean, yes and no. It does and it doesn't. I'd say this. First of all, I would have obviously liked to be playing the full-on version of the game. And I was not able to, because that wasn't what was available via what was for sale on Xbox Live and the Japanese version and all that. I'm not going to get into the specifics of it, because I've already gone over it many times. But it's kind of silly that the mode even exists, quite honestly. Because why do game journalists who play the game ahead of time need to be playing a version that's not the real game? Give them a version that's representative of the real game, rather than, rush through the game and see as far into it as you can, so you'll go hype the game up on the internet. And that's the bottom line, is that's what they did. And that's kind of underhanded, in my opinion. I don't think they should have presented that version of the game to gaming media to begin with. It was stupid. But it is what it is. The game version existed. That's the one I've been playing. It patched during this week while I was off doing other games. So that means as of today, officially as of today, this is the full-on 100% difficulty version of Dark Souls 3. Every enemy will be hitting for the correct damage. I'll be hitting for the correct damage. However you want to say it, this is the version that everyone's been playing outside of Xbox One, okay? So, for those who've been naysaying and saying, it's not the right version and he's not playing it right, well, now all that's kind of written off anyway. And the good news is I've only been about a third into the game from all reports. I'm right about at the point in the game that's kind of maybe 30-40% in. So at this point, the rest of the game, the mid to later game, will all be at the normal difficulty, and that's good. Now here's the thing, and I'm being completely honest here. It's going to be tough as hell. And the reason it's going to be tough as hell is because I'm not grinding. Unlike my other Dark Souls playthroughs that I've done in the past, I'm not grinding at all during this playthrough, because I can't. It's on the Xbox One, and the Xbox One does not have the remote play capability of the PlayStation 4. That's how I grinded last year in Bloodborne. And, my new life here, now that I live with my girlfriend and I have a household to maintain, I don't have the free time I used to have to just sit around all night grinding in a game. So, I'm not going to be grinding. What you're going to see is what you get. What I do in-game, on stream, is what you're going to see. You're not going to see, look, between streams, Phil gained 20 levels. So, holy shit, right? Holy shit. This would be interesting. This could definitely be interesting to see what happens here. Now, I want to make one thing clear. The network features are not enabled yet. So everything with invasions and all of that, not enabled yet, but that's fine because let's be honest here. If I were actually playing this on day one with all that enabled and I didn't grind so that I would be over leveled, I'd be invaded nonstop. You know, there's going to be people who are watching the stream and are going to try to stream snipe me and come in and basically ruin the playthrough. But, that's fine because, you know, it's not enabled. So at least until release day, there won't be any of that anyway. So that's actually a good thing in my opinion. It'll actually allow me to play the game and not just let it be fucking invasion, trolling. Not to say that it's, you know, it's not a part of the game. It absolutely is. But unfortunately, because of the nature of my business and what I do, and I'm a public face, there would be people constantly trying to fuck with my playthrough, and it wouldn't be representative of a normal person playing the game. So I'm actually happy that the that part of the game is not enabled. However, keep in mind there are going to be NPCs that invade from time to time. We already saw that last time I played. I believe there was an NPC that showed up. Actually, it was 2 times ago, I believe. An NPC controlled invasion showed up. So it's still going to happen. You're still going to see these guys showing up, but it's not going to be real humans. Okay. Since the last time I played, I did a little bit of research, because if you remember, I bought the key to open up the tower behind Firelink Shrine, and I found, I think it's Sparky or Sam, I don't know the name of the crow, something the crow, starts with an S, and I found out that people don't really know too much about this crow yet, but apparently if you put down a certain item, you can get insanely cool armor, which I'm going to do today on stream. And I do want to try to get that one item that's left in the tower that I haven't been able to get yet. But outside of those 2 things, really it's just going to be progressing today. What I think I'm going to do, if you weren't around or you haven't been caught up on the playthrough yet, well, shame on you. But I think what I'm going to do today is go to the Cathedral of the Deep, which is not where I've been. I was in the Catacombs last stream. But I found out the Catacombs are actually further ahead in the game than the Cathedral of the Deep is considered. So I was actually doing the harder difficulty dungeon before I did the one before it, which is probably a little bit easier and would have given me more levels and stuff to make the next dungeon, you know, more manageable. So I'm going to try to do the Cathedral today. I think that's what I'm going to focus on. So there you have it. So today, 3.5 hours of Dark Souls 3. Okay? Now, I want to make this clear because a lot of people are like, oh, Dark Souls, Phil's not playing it enough. We want more of it, yada, yada, yada. I am taking a few days off from Dark Souls again after today, okay? Tomorrow is going to be my WWE 2K16 WrestleMania Fantasy Sims, where I'm going to be taking all fantasy characters and doing hilarious style matches in the game. I do this from time to time. I haven't really done it lately, simply because there's been so much else going on, but I did it back in December, and I've decided I'm going to do it again for WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is tomorrow, the big pay-per-view event for WWE. Okay, so in honor of that, that's going to be tomorrow. In addition, I'm going to tomorrow night try to play that new Final Fantasy 15 demo. I know it's only an hour long, so I'm going to try to squeeze that in. Monday, I'm going to be doing a stream of Persona 3. And that'll be the final major stream of Persona 3 for a while. Not to say that I'm not going to play the game, but if I do, it's probably going to be like a shorter second session of a couple hours. It may not even be streamed. Simply because there's too much else that's going to be going on coming up in this month. And that's the deal with that, okay? And then Tuesday is the big new release. It's really the biggest new release for the month, in my opinion. Quantum Break, a game we've been waiting years for. Xbox One exclusive. Well, I guess it's on PC as well. I'm pretty excited for it. Really excited. Hope you're going to join me for that premiere on Tuesday. And then later in the week, I will be coming back to Dark Souls. Okay? So I'll be balancing a lot of stuff this week. I'll be balancing the new release of Quantum Break with Dark Souls later this week. So there will be more Dark Souls 3 after today, but it's going to be later in the week, and I will alternate between all the games that I'm playing. I'll let you know later in the week about an amended schedule as we get there, because the bottom line is I don't know too much about Quantum Break. I don't know how long it is. And the last thing I want to do is make everyone a promise and say, oh, well, I'm going to play Quantum Break in 2 days, I'll beat it, and then I'll go to the back to Dark Souls for, you know, I don't know. I don't know too much about it. So we'll see when we get there. But yes, there will be much more Dark Souls coming later this week, and of course into next week. Next week's the official release. So obviously next week I'm going to be playing a lot of Dark Souls, and I'm still on the fence about if I'm going to play the new Ratchet and Clank game. I might actually play the new Ratchet and Clank game next week, because there's not much else going on in that regard. So maybe I'll balance that with Dark Souls 3 next week. That could be a good idea, you know. But we'll see. I'm curious to see if people are interested in seeing me play Ratchet and Clank or not. I played one a few years ago, and really no one cared. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. This is going to be an interesting month. I would like to say, before we get started, thank you to all of you. Okay? And what I mean by that, what am I thanking you for? A few things. Okay? Number one, I want to thank you for an amazing March. What I mean by that is my viewership in March was way up. Okay? Huge spike in increase in attention, both on DSPGaming, my streaming and gameplay channel, over on the King of Hate Vlogs, my vlogging channel. I'll be honest, on my edited content channel where I put up reviews and stuff, KO Gaming, it was very slow. But that's kind of what I've always seen on YouTube, is when you do something different, or something changes, it's very hard to get people to adapt to that change. And it's going to take a while for me to kind of get it in your head that KO Gaming is the place where I'm going to review games and do first impressions and montages and that kind of stuff. I think a lot of people still haven't gotten it in through their heads yet that you need to head over to KO Gaming. Okay? But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm okay with that. Because like I said, March was great. In fact, the numbers for March still aren't in completely, because YouTube actually is lagged for about 3 days when it comes to calculating views and revenue and everything for a month. But I can tell you this, way by a huge margin, March was the best month this year so far for me. Actually, to the point where it's really, hopefully, if I can maintain that level for the next few months, that's really going to help out. And it's going to build my confidence up in regards to me being able to do this in the full time. As you know, this year is kind of a make or break year for me. I wasn't sure if continuing to do gaming like I do full time is going to be a viable business model, because of all kinds of things going on. Unfortunately, with copyright strike abuse, with things going on, just the nature of the business, the nature of YouTube changing a lot. I didn't know how viable things would be. But it's actually looking like, at this point, if I can maintain this level of attention, I should be good. So that's good news, right? But we got to see what happens, because, you know, things fluctuate during the year. Just because this year was very busy, this month was busy because you had a bunch of new releases in March, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to stay at that level. So I still have to keep working, you know? But I do want to say, thank you for that. I do appreciate that this month was such a successful month. I also want to say thank you because, ladies and gentlemen, we have successfully hit the goal level for the month of March for Patreon. That's right. We actually did hit the Patreon goal level. And what that means, if you don't know, is that at the end of this month, the end of April, I'm going to be doing a Blizzard Entertainment Marathon. And it's going to be a vote between one of 3 Blizzard games. The choices, FYI, are going to be Hearthstone, which I've played before and people seemed to enjoy, especially the interactivity, because it's very different from when I actually play other games. I interact with the stream chat a lot when I play Hearthstone, okay? In addition, the second choice is Heroes of the Storm, the Blizzard-owned MOBA that I've never played before. And in addition to that, World of Warcraft. Basically the quintessential, MMO. When you think about it, it really is the most successful MMO ever. So in that regard, that's going to be awesome. The possibility of 2 different firsts, or a marathon of a game that a lot of people have enjoyed seeing me play. I'm cool with that. I can't wait to see what the patrons are going to be voting. And that poll will actually be going live this weekend. I'm going to create the poll on my website. Of course, I need to get everyone's information to make sure everyone is upgraded on my forums and has access to that poll. So probably people won't really begin voting until next week. But that's okay. It'll be all month they'll be voting, and at the end of the month we'll have a cool marathon of Blizzard. And I'm excited for that. I hope you are too. That's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. Some people are so good. Look, people in the street chat right now are so good. Please play World of Warcraft. Please, God, play World of Warcraft. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I know. I think that would be pretty sweet. Again, I've actually played it. You know, I've actually played World of Warcraft years and years ago. It's going to be really cool if that's what gets voted in and I get to return to it and, you know, see what's happened with the game over the years. The past 10 freaking years, how much has it improved or whatever. The one bummer is I think I have to buy the base game and I think I have to buy an expansion. Like, I think the base game is $20 now, and I think the expansion is like $20 because even the expansion that is like old, I think you need to buy both of those in order to kind of get the full experience or whatever. So I'm going to have to, I think. So anyway, yeah, that's coming up. And I want to say thank you to everyone who pledged in the month of March and who rallied because we had not hit the goal as of, what was it? Friday night? Thursday night? I'm trying to remember what the last day. It was Thursday night. It was the last day of March. We had not hit the goal. And we were pretty much, you know, we were pretty much looking for kind of a miracle. And all of a sudden, a lot of people came out and said, no, you know, we want to see this goal happen. And they came out and pledged. And that was freaking awesome. So thanks to everyone who pledged in March. You guys are ridiculously awesome. Oh, people are saying there's a free version of World of Warcraft you can play up to level 20. I didn't even know that. Okay, maybe that's what I'll do then, but I don't know. Oh, they're saying there's restrictions on it, though. I'll have to see. I'll have to see what I want to do. Well, then again, keep in mind, World of Warcraft has to win the poll in order to even, you know. So let's see what happens with the poll before we start deciding versions of a game or whatever that I'll be playing. I might not be playing that. I might be playing Hearthstone or Heroes of the Storm. So yeah, all around, I'm feeling great. Positive because March was great for my business. Positive because we hit the Patreon goal again at the last minute. People rallied. You guys are awesome. I'm really happy that you all are enjoying what I'm doing and you're supporting me and you want to see me continue to do it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't be more happy right now, okay? So, speaking of which, let's get the gratuitous plugs out of the way, and I think we're going to start with gameplay, okay? So, gratuitous plugs. If you watch my daily live streams, you watch my videos on demand on YouTube, and you enjoy them, and you like my new increase in vlogging, and you want to see me continue to be successful and keep doing this as a job full-time, you love the daily free content, right? There's many ways that you could support the business. Obviously, the first and foremost is watching everything. Duh. Duh. But also spreading the word. Social media. On Twitter, I'm at TheyCallMeDSP. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, daily schedule updates, and I share my thoughts on many different things on Twitter daily. And if you do follow me on Twitter, you know, retweeting and faving my tweets actually helps the business because getting my name out there, having more social media reach actually helps a business. You may not realize it, but it does. So thanks to those of you who do interact with me on social media. It is very much appreciated and it helps a lot. Okay? Number 2, in the description of all of my streams and videos, you can find a link to an Amazon associate account. If you already, excuse me, if you already shop on Amazon, this is a no-brainer. You click the link and you shop as normal if you live in the United States, and it helps out the business. Now, that link will not work for people who don't live in the United States, and I apologize because the way Amazon's program works, I would have to literally set up a separate link for every country. So it's not worth it in that regard, but it is worth it for those who live domestically in the United States. If you use the link, it helps out. Obviously, there's Patreon at patreon.com/darksidephil. There you can pledge directly to my business. It helps me immensely, and you get cool personal perks for doing that, as well as monthly goals. We just hit the monthly goal for the Blizzard Marathon. I'm very excited to do it. And this month, I'm kind of on the fence of what to do for a goal. People currently on my forums are suggesting ideas for what I could do this month for a goal, and you can contribute to that at thekingofhate.com forums. But yeah, contributing helps me a lot. It not only allows me to continue to do this full time, It gives me a little bit more security. And the bottom line is, if enough people contributed to Patreon monthly, I wouldn't ever have to worry about views. I wouldn't have to worry about ad revenue. I wouldn't have to tell you, oh, it's a great month, so I'm happy. You know, I'd be happy all the time. But that's not the case. I still kind of rely on all the traditional thing, views, ad revenue, and all that. So please consider pledging. Patreon.com/DarksidePhil. And then, last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, my girlfriend's business, The Black Currant, where she sells handmade glycerin soaps and wax tart melts, can be found at etsy.com/shop/The Black Currant. Right now, she has launched her spring line of product. It's great stuff, scents like ginger ale, Moroccan mint, Kentish Rain, 3 of my favorites right there. In addition to that, she now has cheaper shipping if you live within the United States. She does ship internationally as well. Give it a look. It's good stuff. Even if you, even if you're not into that stuff, you may find that you like it. In fact, most people who've ordered from her business are male gamers who watch my content, and then they went and checked it out. So, wow, this is great. And they started buying for themselves, started buying for their families. She's got tons of repeat customers, and she's got nothing but positive feedback. So please check it out. All right. I think we've gotten all the gratuitous plugs out of the way, haven't we? No, here come 5 more. 5 more gratuitous plugs. Okay. No, I'm not going to do any more gratuitous plugs. I was actually kidding. But I will say this to preface it, because I am going to start gameplay in a moment. The heat has finally come to Washington State, and what I mean by that is outside every day it's between 60 and 70 degrees. Unfortunately, my office is front-facing to where the sun hits the house, and so my office heats up like a clay oven during the course of the afternoon, when incidentally is when I'm live streaming. Okay, so because of that, I need to run an air conditioner. The air conditioner's on right now, actually. I don't know how badly you can hear it, if it's loud or not. Most people have said they can barely hear it. So that's good. I'm glad that it's not interfering with my content, alright? I certainly apologize if you can't hear it, but unfortunately this is going to be a necessary evil for the summer months. You know, right now it is early spring, but it already is going to get hot. So I'd say the months of April, May, June, July, and August probably, I'm going to need this thing on constantly whenever I'm in here. And then I turn it off for the fall, so FYI, sorry about that, but it's going to have to be on more often than not, okay? Excuse me. All right. I think it is time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to play. Do you agree or do you disagree? Most people say they disagree. They would like more talking and plugs. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm kidding. Thanks, everybody. It is time to play. I thank you very much. And let us begin with today's Dark Souls 3 version 1.01 Crazy Insanity. I'm sure it's going to be tough, but I'm ready. Here we go.